Hey guys, it's FanofFans47 here with another update to my camera collection. Now as you can see, since the last update I have gotten lots of new cameras, and I think the last update was in like April or something, so my collection has been growing pretty fast. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right to it. We'll start on the left here with my Kodak DX3600 zoom digital camera. Now I've actually had this thing for a while, but I was having some issues with it and I couldn't show it in the last update. But fortunately all those issues have been resolved now, so I can show it to you today. So yeah, I'll go ahead and turn it on here. It's got a little lens cap, and the lens comes out. Now this one is kind of interesting because you can see by default the LCD display doesn't show anything unless you hit select. Now as you can see, it is showing what is on the lens. So that's one of the first cameras I've had that did that. By default, at least. So, But yeah, it works just like new. And next up is my Olympus D380. This one is 2 megapixels, and it records video in 15-second segments at 320 by 240. Oh, I forgot to mention, this one is 2.2 megapixels and it records video at 320 by 240 at 15 frames per second. So moving back to the D380 here, you can see there's a bunch of hair all over it because I do have animals in this house. Go ahead and open the lens barrier here and it should turn on. There you go. This one's got a tiny little screen. It's very bright too. Now you can see I only have a 16 megabyte card inserted, so you can see I only have 6 pictures left in the memory. Excuse me. Now, this is actually the first camera in my collection to use a smart media card, and in case you're wondering what that is, this right here is a smart media card. This is what cameras used in the late 90s and early 2000s for memory cards. Now, this camera has a unique feature where if it's on and then you open the card door, it shuts off. There's like a sensor. So that's kind of interesting. Moving on. Next up is my Canon Powershot A510. Now, as you probably remember from the first update for my late 15,000 subscriber special, I had a Canon Powershot A530, which I got from my great aunt because it used to be my great grandfather's camera, but he unfortunately deceased, so that's very sad. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and turn it on here. You can see it works just like new. And I guess basically my point is that this is the older version of the Powershot A530. This one is 3.2 megapixels and it records video at 640 by 480 at 11 frames per second for I think 30 seconds. And next up we have a couple of Kodaks. The first of the two is my EasyShare C533 digital camera. This one is 5 megapixels and it records video at 640 by 480 at 11 frames per second. Go ahead and turn it on here. You can see, works fine. There you go. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And this one actually came with a neck strap instead of a normal lanyard strap, which is kind of interesting if you ask me. Let me go on this side so it's easier now. And the second Kodak is my EasyShare C743. This is basically the newer model. So you can see it's got a much bigger screen, and just the overall camera looks nicer and bigger. Go ahead and turn it on here. There you go. This one is 7.1 megapixels and it records video at 640 by 480 at 30 frames per second. This one is actually one of the nicer ones that I've had. And next up is this Apetech DV4500 digital camcorder. This one is kind of interesting because not only is it a camcorder, but it has a built-in flash for taking pictures, and it also doubles as a MP3, or actually, maybe I should say triples as an MP3 player and a sound recording device. So let's go ahead and turn it on here. Oh, didn't hold it for long enough. There we go. This one's got a neat startup sound. Oh, it's on the playback mode. Let me go ahead and switch that. There we go. You can see the screen is rather dark, and it's small, but I guess it's still usable. And this one is 4 megapixels, and it records video at 640 by 480 at, I believe, 10 frames per second. Next up is the Sony Cybershot DSCWX9 with optical steady shot and a Exmor-R CMOS sensor. This one I actually got from my parents, so thank you very much for that. This one's a nice one. Go ahead and turn it on here. It's got a nice little startup jingle. You can see it works completely fine. That lens has got a bit of a delay though. It is 16.2 megapixels and it records video up to 1920 by 1080 at 60 interlaced. And next up is the latest addition to my camera collection. This is a Hewlett-Packard Photosmart 315. Now, when I picked this thing up at Savers, it was actually broken. It turns out that this contact right here, this used to have a lens barrier on it, by the way. It wasn't pushing this contact enough. So what I did is I took the lens barrier off and I modified this contact and turned it into a latching switch with this thicker screw. So now, if I flip this, you can see it stays in that position and the camera turns on. Now this is another one of those cameras that the display is off by default. And in order to turn it on, you have to click this blue button. Oh wait, what? I hope it's not stuck in a boot loop. Oh, there we go. That's the first time that's happened. Huh, strange. Now this one is only pictures, it does not take video, and it is 2.1 megs. Let me switch it off here. You can see it's off. And this right here, I forgot to show in the first update. This is a spy pen camera. As you can see, if we go ahead and click the power button here. I might not be pressing it. Oh, there we go. You can see the green light comes on. That means it's on. Right there is the lens. And below that, that's where the clip used to be. But you can see it fell off. So, oh well. And there's a bit of tape on it too because this thing is loose. I'll make a separate video on the operation of this thing. Go ahead and turn it off. There we go. And here it is with the pen part taken off. You can see the USB right there and the memory card I have inserted. It is a camera's not focusing. It's a 4 gigabyte micro SD card, class 6. Go ahead and insert that back in and put the cover back on. This thing's a pain in the butt. It always gets stuck. Come on. There we go. And so yeah, that was my camera collection update video. Thank you for watching.